What if I told you that your brain, the very organ that defines who you are, is capable of something so strange, so mind-boggling, that it might change the way you think forever? What if I told you that the brain can do something that science has only begun to understand, and it could potentially shape your future? This is the brain, the most complex organ in your body. It's a universe unto itself, with billions of neurons firing away, making connections, breaking connections. But what if I told you that in some cases, it can rewire itself in ways that defy logic, and it can actually influence your reality in ways you've never imagined? This ability is called neuroplasticity. And trust me, it's far more powerful than you think. Neuroplasticity, also known as brain plasticity, is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. For years, scientists believed that the adult brain was fixed and incapable of substantial change. That belief has now been shattered. The brain is much more adaptable than we ever thought. In fact, neuroplasticity is constantly at work, shaping your mind and body in response to your thoughts, experiences, and environment. But here's the shocking part. Imagine suffering a severe injury, like a stroke, where part of your brain is damaged. In the past, this would have meant a permanent loss of function. You might lose the ability to speak, walk, or even recognize loved ones. The damage was considered irreversible. But with neuroplasticity, the brain can actually rewire itself. New pathways can form, and incredibly, you might regain lost abilities over time. Think about that for a second. A stroke, a catastrophic event in the brain, can be partially reversed, not by magic, but by the brain's own ability to adapt. It's like rewiring a circuit board while the power is still on. It's a testament to the brain's incredible capacity for self-healing, and it's a beacon of hope for those recovering from brain injuries. Now, the extent of recovery varies from person to person. It depends on the severity of the stroke, the area of the brain affected, and individual factors. But the fact that recovery is even possible is a testament to the power of neuroplasticity. It's like the brain saying, "Okay, that was a close one, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to find a way to work around this." And the process of recovery is nothing short of remarkable. Undamaged areas of the brain can take over the functions of damaged areas. New neural connections sprout, like vines reaching for something to hold on to. It's a slow process, requiring patience, dedication, and intensive therapy. But the results can be astounding. Imagine regaining the ability to walk after being told you'd never walk again. Imagine speaking to your loved ones after months of silence. These are the miracles that neuroplasticity can make possible. And it's not just strokes. Neuroplasticity plays a role in recovery from other brain injuries, such as traumatic brain injury as well. The brain is constantly trying to make sense of the world, to adapt to new situations. And when it's faced with a challenge, like an injury, it doesn't give up. It finds a way to overcome, to rebuild, to rewire. This inherent drive to adapt is what makes neuroplasticity so powerful. So if you or someone you love is recovering from a brain injury, remember this: there is always hope. The brain is capable of amazing things, and with the right support and therapy, recovery is possible. Never underestimate the power of the human brain to heal and adapt. Neuroplasticity isn't just for recovery, though. It's happening all the time, even in your daily life. Every time you learn something new, your brain is changing. Whether it's learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or even just practicing a sport, you're literally reshaping your brain. Think of your brain like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. When you learn something new, you're essentially giving your brain a workout. You're forcing it to form new connections, to strengthen existing ones. And just like a muscle, the more you challenge your brain, the more adaptable it becomes. Let's take learning a new language as an example. When you start learning a new language, everything seems foreign and confusing. The sounds are unfamiliar, the grammar is strange, and you struggle to string together a simple sentence. But as you persist, something amazing happens. Your brain starts to adapt. Those foreign sounds become recognizable. You start to grasp the nuances of grammar. And slowly but surely, you're able to hold a conversation in this new language. What's happening is that your brain is forming new neural pathways dedicated to processing this new language. It's literally rewiring itself to accommodate this new skill. The same thing happens when you learn a musical instrument. At first, your fingers fumble over the keys or strings. You struggle to coordinate your movements and produce a harmonious sound. But with practice, your brain begins to optimize the neural circuits involved in motor control and auditory processing. Your fingers become more nimble, your timing improves, and the music begins to flow. Even something as simple as practicing a sport can induce neuroplastic changes. As you repeat a particular movement, like swinging a golf club or shooting a basketball, your brain refines the neural pathways responsible for that movement. You become more coordinated, more efficient, and more accurate. But here's the really cool part. Neuroplasticity isn't just about acquiring new skills. It's also about improving existing ones. Remember that muscle analogy? Just like you can lift heavier weights as you get stronger, you can also challenge your brain with increasingly complex tasks. You can learn new languages faster, master more challenging musical pieces, and take on more demanding physical challenges. The key is to keep your brain engaged, to keep challenging it with new and stimulating experiences. Don't let your brain get stuck in a rut. Embrace novelty, seek out new challenges, and never stop learning. Remember, your brain is capable of far more than you think, so go out there and unlock its hidden potential. Here's another mind-blowing fact. Neuroplasticity works in both directions. Just as you can train your brain to be stronger, it can also adapt to negative stimuli, like stress or trauma. Constantly being in a stressful state can rewire your brain in a way that makes it harder to cope with everyday challenges. Think of it this way. Imagine a path in the woods. The more you walk that path, the more defined it becomes. It's easier to walk, and you're less likely to stray. Now imagine that path represents a neural pathway in your brain. The more you activate that pathway, the stronger it becomes. Now, this is great if the pathway is associated with something positive, like learning a new skill or recalling a happy memory. But what if the pathway is associated with something negative, like stress or fear? When you're constantly stressed, your brain releases a flood of hormones, including cortisol, often dubbed the stress hormone. Cortisol is essential for survival. It helps us respond to threats and deal with challenging situations. But when cortisol levels remain elevated for prolonged periods, it can have detrimental effects on the brain. One of the areas most affected by chronic stress is the hippocampus, a brain region crucial for learning, memory, and emotional regulation. High levels of cortisol can actually damage neurons in the hippocampus, impairing its function. This can lead to problems with memory, concentration, and decision-making. Chronic stress can also affect the amygdala, the brain's fear center. The amygdala is responsible for detecting and responding to threats. When you're stressed, the amygdala becomes overactive, making you more reactive to even minor stressors. This can lead to a constant state of anxiety and fear. But here's the good news. Just as neuroplasticity can work against us in the case of chronic stress, it can also work for us. Just as the brain can rewire itself in response to negative experiences, it can also rewire itself in response to positive ones. One of the most effective ways to counteract the negative effects of stress is through mindfulness practices like meditation. Meditation, in its simplest form, is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them. Regular meditation practice has been shown to have a number of beneficial effects on the brain. It can reduce activity in the amygdala, making you less reactive to stress. It can increase gray matter density in the hippocampus, improving memory and learning. And it can strengthen connections between different parts of the brain, improving overall cognitive function. But meditation isn't the only way to harness the power of neuroplasticity to combat stress. Exercise, spending time in nature, connecting with loved ones, and engaging in activities you enjoy can all have positive effects on the brain. The key is to create a lifestyle that supports brain health. This means managing stress, getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, and engaging in activities that challenge and stimulate your mind. Remember, your brain is constantly changing, and you have the power to influence those changes, so choose wisely. So what does this mean for you? It means that you have the power to take control of your own brain. You have the ability to reshape your reality, enhance your mind, and even overcome limitations that seemed impossible. Your brain is far more powerful than you think, and the possibilities are endless. All it takes is understanding the science behind neuroplasticity and using it to your advantage. Whether you're recovering from an injury, learning something new, or managing stress, remember this: your brain is constantly changing, and you have the power to guide that change. The brain's incredible power is real, The question is, what are you going to do with it?